The Philippines, being a tropical and archipelagic country, has very rich and diverse flora and fauna. Considered as biodiversity hotspot, the country attracts tourists and scientists to come over and examine its natural resources. Though this poses an advantage to our national economy, on the other side of the fence, this is critically threatening our local environment. Allowing the public to observe and investigate our treasures can lead to the eventual disturbance and worse, exploitation of these natural resources, especially if they are not given protection. The 2014 data show that there are 211 wild fauna or animals and 526 wild flora or plants which are threatened. These data are from Framework for Philippine Plant Conservation Strategy and Action Plan. This is the summary of threatened wildlife species from year 2004 to 2014. Threats to biodiversity. A number of factors negatively affect biodiversity. Habitat destruction. Loss of biodiversity can be the worst end result of numerous anthropogenic activities. These activities include urbanization, construction, agricultural land development, logging, river damming, and use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. Each of these destroys habitat in one way or another. Pollution. Pollution is a condition in which there is an unnatural increase in the concentration of naturally occurring environmental compounds. Their high concentration can make an environment unfavorable for the survival of a particular organism. Even too much light can become a pollutant, and thus can affect biodiversity. Introduction of non-native species and new varieties. Non-native species or invasive alien species includes exotic micro and macro species introduced accidentally or deliberately to a place that is not part of their natural habitat or distribution range. Their introduction to the local community could become a threat to other organisms as they become invasive, especially if they have an ecological niche similar with the native ones. Global climate change. The gradual increase in the world's temperature also threatens biodiversity. Global warming entails the following: meltdown of icebergs in polar regions leading to sea level rise, increase in amount of rainfalls, too hot summer, and too cold winters, frequent grass and forest fires, changes in sea temperature, etc. Each of these brings about a negative impact to world's biodiversity. This remains true especially to species that are incapable of adapting to this changing environment. Exploitation. Any form of abuse to flora and fauna threatens biological diversity. Collecting them in huge amounts may threaten their proliferation. Gathering these organisms, especially the endangered ones, for trading is an act punishable by law. Overpopulation. Human overpopulation poses the greatest threat to biodiversity. As population increases, the demand for all human needs and wants also increase. As this demand increases, the needs for our natural resources also increases. Human beings are at that point that they get too much from the environment but do not contribute to their replacement.